All right, hello, good morning, good evening, and good night. I hope you guys are doing absolutely fantastic because in today's video, what we're going to be doing is we are going to be talking about the overall market. In my opinion, in the market, we're reaching pretty much a high point or what could be a potential high point and breakout. What I'm going to do is I'm going to compare that across a couple stocks that we see in the market, how they're trending. I also want to compare it. I probably made a video like this in the past, but I want to compare it to the 1970s, an era where I believe we're in something similar here in 2023. And I'm also going to show you guys some interesting facts and how we could potentially not predict, but anticipate a recession ahead, because recessions, although to our portfolios, they obviously do great damage. They put our portfolios down quite a bit. They could be potentially amazing buying opportunities, and that's what we want to be ready for in case of that somewhat financial emergency. So with all that being said, I hope you guys do enjoy this video. If you do, please do subscribe. We're up to 3,364 subscribers. Let's try and get to that 3,500 subscriber marker. I'm super excited. Our last video got 1 out of 10. That's great, guys. 2,000 views. It's literally climbing up every single minute here. So thank you to everyone who's subscribed and who watched that video. I do want to say we have a different thumbnail for this video. If you guys want any suggestions on how to make our videos better, just please let me know in the comments down below. But without further ado, we're talking about the Dow Jones for the current being. And we're talking about the market. So over the past year, you could see the market has stayed relatively flat. Over the past 2 years, relatively flat. Over the past 5 years, we've had obviously the COVID downturn here. We've had the market pretty much appreciate to all-time highs. And then we've seen periods where we thought we were going in a recession, like the later stages of 2022, but really we bounced back and we've been kind of in this stagnant flat period. Now, this is a similar time between 1964 and roughly 1980. Now, we see this here today, and I'm really wondering how long this is going to last for. This stock market could last for the next year, or it could potentially last for, like it did in the 1970s, for a decade long. And the thing is with this, you don't just have stocks that go down. You have stocks that are everywhere, to be honest, and you have stocks that do go down. You have stocks that kind of mitigate and stay the same, and you have stocks that obviously appreciate over time. Now, when looking at this, TSLY is not the best example. TSLY is the YieldMax Tesla Option Income Strategy ETF. It sells covered calls on Tesla, synthetic covered calls, and it's trended down. This is an example of a downtrending stock. Also, another, Walgreens, on the year. So as you can see, Walgreens has literally trended down for the entire being of 2022 and 2023. So has TSLY kind of in the past 6 months. But these are examples of how stocks have been trending downwards and creating potential buying opportunities in companies if you are interested to buy them. Walgreens, I do own Walgreens. I own a couple shares of them. Do I recommend buying Walgreens? It has not been a great investment for me, down 50% currently. I have not done too much research into the recent financials of this company, so I don't know, but their stock price has been completely down. That is an example of stocks going down in this period where the Dow Jones trades sideways. Coca-Cola, a great long stable company with a relatively low dividend, and it's increased their dividend for the past 50 years. You can see over the past 5 years, it's pretty much stayed flat. It looks like the Dow Jones currently. This is an example of a stock that stayed flat and will likely stay flat for the next little while, as people are wondering, should I buy more Coca-Cola? Although not a luxury product, for example, it's not a necessity. It's not a necessity food. It's a pleasure food. And so Coca-Cola tends to trade a little bit sideways, and until the market kind of has a rebound, then we will see a rebound in Coca-Cola, but for the time being, it's sideways. And then Apple, of course, everyone has an iPhone. Everyone's always trying to get the latest gadgets, anything they could do, and Apple has been taken off for the most part in the past year. It's done very well. In the later half of 2022, when we thought we were going into a recession, it was down to roughly $130. Obviously, since then, has completely rebounded back to $190. So those are 3 examples of how stocks can trade downwards in times of a sideways market. They could trade sideways, or they can also go up. Now, this is very similar to the 1970s. And what happened actually in the 1970s is the S&P 500 fell almost 40% during a bear market that lasted from 1973 and 1974. If we go back to this picture here, right in this middle frame here, you could see from 1972 to 1975, there's that massive 40% bear market. Now in our Dow Jones, this is why I stress this concern so much. The 1970s is very similar to today, what we have in the Dow Jones. Now, looking at the Dow Jones, we see similar patterns. We see patterns where stocks have been trading sideways. They kind of hit a first initial dip here in October, November, December of 2022, as we've seen here in the 1970s. We see another big dip in the 1970s, which we haven't seen yet because we've just been trading flat. And in the 1970s, we actually see a third and the biggest hit, which was a 40% downturn during a bear market in the 1973 and 1974. Now, we've only really seen one recently with this kind of like current market like that we're having in the Dow Jones. We've only seen this downturn right here. We haven't seen any going forward. So we're either going to retest this high and potentially, I think, stay within this range and continue sideways. This was a period of high inflation. 2023 is a period also of high inflation, and until they really get that lockdown and under control and people are bullish again on the stock market, I do not think we're going to break through this high. Of course, this is not financial advice. This is just my opinion. But I hope you guys did enjoy this video. It gave you a perspective of stocks that are going down, stocks that trade sideways, and stocks that are trading up in a market time when really everything is just moving sideways and we're just trotting along, trying to get through this period of time in history. And you can look back to past replicas like the 1970 stock market for any kind of advice on what you could do to help position your portfolio better for the current time being. I hope you guys did enjoy this video. I hope you guys got a perspective on the market, where it's at, and maybe someone else's thoughts. I hope you guys please do subscribe. We're up to 3,364 subscribers. I want to say thank you guys for tuning into this video, and anything you guys want to comment down below, I'll be sure to get back to you. So thank you for watching. Take it easy, guys.